When I was a kid, it always annoyed me when an R-rated movie got a PG-13 sequel. R-rated Young Guns had bloody shootings, cursing, gross-out moments, Emilio's bare ass. PG-13 Young Guns 2 had that Bon Jovi song. R-rated National Lampoon's Vacation had great humor, piss sandwiches, John Candy and Eugene Levy. PG-13 National Lampoon's European Vacation had a surprising amount of nudity.
Rated PG-13. Starts Friday, July 10th at a theater near you.
One of the oddest PG-13 sequels is 1987's House 2, The Second Story. Holy shit. I just 30 years later got that the title's a pun. Second story? Like how the different levels of buildings are called stories? Yeah, everyone got that. The original House is a great 80s horror comedy. Despite all the goofy moments and frickin' Norm from Cheers bumbling around, House is loaded with genuinely frightening scenes and horrifying images. Few films balance the horror comedy mix better. John Carpenter famously wanted to make Halloween an anthology series, where each year there would be an all-new story centered around the Halloween season. But that idea was kiboshed in favor of the Michael Myers franchise. The House series managed to do what Carpenter wanted. Despite the title and nearly identical poster, the sequel couldn't have been more different. Rather than telling a continuation of the Roger Cobb story, House 2 has whole new characters, a whole new style, shit, it's even a whole new house. The movie starts off with a baby being secreted away in the middle of the night, presumably to protect him from the strange cowboy figure who shows up and guns down his parents. 25 years later, the baby, now grown up, returns to live in the house. Did he inherit it? The insides are fully furnished. Someone must have been living here, or at least keeping the place clean. Buddy and his lady have no problem going to sleep on strange sheets that otherwise haven't been cleaned in the last quarter of a century. I can only imagine what you'd see if you took a black light to those covers.
You see that? This black light shows up bodily fluids. Philip's semen right there. I am fucking disgusted.
The guy's annoying friend soon comes to visit. He's played by the guy who is Jerry Dandridge's assistant in Fright Night, but in House 2, kinda looks like Jim Carrey from Dumb and Dumber. Now it turns out the guy's great-great-grandfather was one of those Indiana Jones types who went around grave robbing sacred artifacts from ancient cultures. What a shithead. Somewhere, he got a hold of this crystal skull that's supposed to grant immortality. So Buddy and his friend make a trip to the cemetery to dig Gramps up. Wait a minute. If the skull grants its owner immortality, then why is he dead and buried? I don't know. I guess you die, but the skull brings you back to life. Sure enough, when they open the casket, Gramps is alive.
You know, I've been waiting over 70 years for some jackass to get the sense to come dig me up.
Really? 70 years? Was he just down there with his thoughts, pulling his pud for 7 decades? If he knew he was coming back to life, he should have arranged for someone to dig him out after a week or so. Or maybe put in his will, hey, don't bury me? Not all the humor in House 2 works. The filmmakers give Gramps a lot of lines they thought would be hilarious coming from an old man, but they're so embarrassing they feel like the outtakes from a sitcom before the laugh track got dubbed in.
Why didn't you use the stairs? I'm a 170-year-old fart. I know that smells good. Smells good. And he's going to have it ready right away.
Despite his poor comedic timing, Gramps winds up bonding with the boys. As long as he possesses the crystal skull, Gramps will remain alive. Trouble is, people keep coming out of the wall and stealing it. If the skull is so vital to Gramps' survival, you'd think they'd find a more secure place to keep it, instead of on the fireplace in the middle of the living room. But nope, no matter how many times someone steals it, these idiots just put it right back. Geez, at least get a cabinet for it. Something you can lock.
Jesse, you old golf bag. How are you?
A young Bill Maher is in the movie for one of the most useless subplots I've ever seen in a horror film. I'll see if I can sum this up quick. Basically, Dumb and Dumber's girlfriend is an aspiring rock star, and Buddy's girlfriend works for a record company. She overhears the girl's demo tape and immediately calls her boss, sounding more excited than Marvin Berry telling his cousin to listen to Marty McFly.
You know that new sound you're looking for? Well, listen to this.
That I'd be taken up to hyperspace. It seems so strange.
Since this is the 80s and she can't email him an MP3, Bill Maher flies out to the house so he can listen to this amazing new music star. While he's there, the boys try to hide Gramps from him, leading the girls to think Buddy is fooling around with another woman. So both girls get mad, and Bill Maher takes them away. Wow, that's a lot of useless plot just to get the girls out of the house. They could have accomplished the exact same thing with a 7-second scene of the girlfriend saying, "Hey, I'm going out. I'll be back in a couple of days."
Cheers is filmed before a live studio audience.
Just like Part 1, House 2 finds a role for a cast member of Cheers. Cliff Clavin shows up as the electrician who helps the boys adventure into the walls of the house to get the skull back.
Okay.
The movie has a lot of awful puppetry. There's some kind of dog caterpillar who looks like a cross between a glowworm and a boglin. And there's a baby pterodactyl that looks about as convincing as a hand puppet.
Look! It's a prehistoric bird!
All in all, House 2 never really comes together. You get the impression the director was more interested in making a western than a horror film. Still, I appreciate them trying something different. And in all honesty, House 2 is far from the worst movie about a crystal skull. Interestingly, in Italy, House 2 is Evil Dead Part 6.
Sam Raimi, lo stesso geniale regista del film La Casa.
See, over there, Evil Dead was titled La Casa. Evil Dead 2, Dead by Dawn, was La Casa 2. Producers kept this franchise going by titling otherwise unrelated films as La Casa 3 and La Casa 4. House 2 happened to be La Casa 6.
Nonnino, forse dovresti...
Eppure ho solo 170 anni. Scarsi.
That I'd be taken up to hyperspace.
Charlie's getting married.
Shenanigans. It's been a lot of fun, shenanigans. But now we've got to run. It's funny how the minutes seem to fly.